My 22 female ex 24 male, and his sister 22 female, are being harassed by my parents. Do I help them? My parents were extremely abusive. The nicest thing they ever did for me was letting me move out at 16, and even then they only agreed under duress. However, they were still harassing me, so at 18 I changed my name and moved as far away from my hometown as I could. They also made my birthday, which was the 4th, genuinely traumatic, to such an extent that on the 4th of October each year I have a therapy appointment, and that's basically all I am capable of doing on that day. When I turned 19 I said I didn't want a party, but my friend at the time decided I didn't really mean that and threw me a surprise party, so from then on I told people that the date on my name change certificate, the 20th, was my birthday, even though I still have to use the 4th on formal documents. I know lying about my birthday is weird, but after the surprise party I didn't want to risk it. Shortly after my 19th, I met Jack and Jill, who were siblings and roommates. Jill and I were friends first, then through her I met Jack, and Jack and I began dating 6 months ago. They weren't involved in the party, so I was able to tell them my birthday was the 20th, and hid the real date. I told them about 80% of the abuse I went through growing up, however they had a good home life with loving parents and I could see them struggling to comprehend the reality of what I was saying, so I held off on telling them the worst bits until I was sure they'd believe me, and never told them my real name birthday. On the 4th, Mum messaged me. She should not have been able to do this, as I completely restarted my social media with my new name and fake birthday, and blocked all my relatives, so she's made an account just for this. She sent, "Happy birthday, old name," along with a lengthy message full of her typical bullshit about how it's been years since she heard from me, written as if she has no idea why that is. Jack saw the start of the message and began demanding answers that I said wasn't ready to give, and asked if we could drop it. He got Jill in on it, and they both kept asking questions, so I left. By the next day, I found out that they had contacted my mother to get her side of the story, and they criticized me for removing my parents from my life and said I should give them another chance. I then broke up with Jack and told Jill we weren't friends anymore. It's been about a week, and my parents have been harassing Jack and Jill this whole time, demanding my contact info and address. Good news is, I moved at the start of September, and they've not been to my new place yet, so they can't give my address as they genuinely don't know it, and I've blocked them all, Jack, Jill, parents, on social media. I don't know what to do. I kind of feel like they brought this on themselves, to be honest, and if I step in then I'd be opening the door to my parents, even if it's just a crack. Jack and Jill have been messaging our mutual friends about it, saying I've left them in the lurch, which I kind of have, and they want me to fix this by speaking to my parents, who say that if we can just have a conversation then they'll leave us all alone. What do I do? Should I talk to Mom and Dad to get rid of them? Or just leave Jack and Jill to fend for themselves? They opened Pandora's box, so it's only fair they deal with the fallout themselves. Neither of them respected you when you said you weren't ready to talk about it and instead went behind your back. Be safe, op, and good luck. Nope, do not re-establish contact. You've done a great job breaking it, and these people have gotten you re-involved for no reason. Besides, do you really think if you have a conversation with them they will leave you or Jack and Jill alone? I really doubt that. Not only should you not help them here, but I also think you can't. They opened this can of worms themselves instead of simply trusting you because they are not a very good part of your support system. Do you have people who you think might understand you can talk to? I think you should reach out to as many friends as you can right now. This sounds really hard. I remember your "Am I the asshole" post. I'm glad you broke up with him and cut ties with them both. I'm furious for you that they contacted your parents. Do not get involved at all. It was their choice to disrespect your boundaries, even after you had told them what your parents were like. Please focus on keeping yourself safe, physically and emotionally. I remember your "Am I the asshole" post and I was horrified and incensed on your behalf. Jack and Jill deserve what's coming to them. They brought this on themselves by crossing every boundary you set for yourself. What they did was so unbelievably scummy, and this seems kind of like poetic justice. Drop them both like hot potatoes and let them deal with their fallout. How did your mom find out your new info? That would be the first thing I would worry about and try to fix. Second, since they refused to believe you in the first place, and provided the intro into the harassment, then I would leave them to sort it out themselves. Simply making an announcement to all your friends by way of a snail mail letter, that says, "Due to years of abuse by my family, I have chosen to cut off all contact. Please respect my decision." The simple answer is to tell them to do what you had to do. Change their names and block all their social media and move away. That's what you did and they ruined it. It may be nice to give them actual advice, but you have no obligation to solve their problem for them. Terrible analogy time. You told them an old cooler was full of shit and rotting meat you're throwing out. They brought the cooler to their place and dumped it in their living room. They did this because their cooler was full of beer and happiness, and yours must be too. Now they want help cleaning it up. No need to help. They brought this to themselves, stick their nose where it did not belong, after you told what your parents did, and now they have to deal with it. Jack and Jill brought this on themselves and it is now their problem to sort out. You owe them nothing and certainly do not owe them getting in touch with your abusive parents. Don't get drawn back into the nightmare. Sit this one out and let any mutual friends know that for your own safety, you cannot get involved. Don't say anything more than that. Just that it is for your own safety. Jack and Jill are adults, they brought this on themselves for not listening to you. They are perfectly capable of filing a restraining order as they are now being harassed. Which is exactly what they should have done. Warn everyone that your parents will harass anyone, use Jack and Jill as examples. Do not contact your parents, it will only bring you misery. No way, they did this to themselves. They shouldn't have gone behind your back and reached out to them, that was messed up. They can live with that crazy for a while and get a good understanding of why you did what you've done. My husband cut ties and still, 25 years of no contact, has people who insist that he should have contact. These are not relationships to maintain. You can tell those friends that are passing on Jack and Jill's messages that you told them that you cut contact, they went behind your back, and these are the consequences that you would have warned them about had they been honest. They've put you in a hell of a predicament. You didn't leave them in anything, you've even told them what to do. They need to tell these child abusers to F off, then move and change their names if need be. They literally decided you were overreacting and put you in harm's way on purpose. F them and anyone else who decides you don't get to walk away from abuse. Nope. They wanted to insert themselves into the middle of this, then they can deal with the consequences. Fuck 'em. Jack and Jill are either incredibly stupid or intentionally malicious. If stupid, they are getting a right rich lesson in life, don't help them. If malicious, doubly don't help them. And don't trust a word from your parents. Jack and Jill brought this on themselves. Let them fend for themselves, and cut contact with them so there's no chance that they can lead your parents to you. Also, do not re-establish contact with your abusers for these jerks. Maybe this will teach them to respect boundaries and that not everyone grew up in a picture-perfect home. Nope, they brought it on themselves by not trusting your word. Inform mutual friends that Jack and Jill should just block your parents or ignore them because you aren't going to get in contact with your abusers. They didn't believe you about your abuse. Now they are seeing firsthand just how toxic they really are. They totally brought this on themselves. Why are people front so entitled to force a relationship with people and they know nothing about it? There is another post about a woman whose fiancé reached out to her very abusive mother, behind her back, when they found out they were having baby. She had been NC for years, spent the age of 14 to 19 homeless. They had no right to do what they did. Jack and Jill stuck their noses in your business and now they have to deal with the fetid stench they discovered. Not your fault. Not your problem. Just dip out. You have less than zero responsibility here. They owe you a sincere and extreme apology. The simple fact that they didn't believe you when you told them how you suffered growing up Hobsty should have been a red flag. Skeptical smiley face. I'm sorry you're going through this. As someone who has shitty parents and suffered a lot growing up, I can relate as to why you cut contact and why you don't want to let them into your life. I think you should send your ex a long GGG message explaining to him why you didn't want to open up about your parents to them, and as well as telling them that they opened that can of worms and now they can deal with it. That was so fucked up on both of their parts to contact your parents. Never let them back in either, parents or ex. Stay safe and I hope your parents never find you again. Hug. My heart hurts for you. I'm so sorry you're having to deal with this. I also moved away and changed my name to get away from a parent that had no right to call himself that. Your friends had no right to interfere and you should absolutely leave them to be shredded by your mom. Do not feel guilty leaving them behind and don't talk to your parents unless you want to. Certainly not because you're being hounded. Good luck, and if you need to talk to someone who's been there, my mailbox is open. You have not left them in the lurch. They betrayed you and karma bit them. Trust once, fool on them. Trust twice, fool on you. Leave them to it. It really irks me that they took your parents' side without knowing your full side of the story. You did a good thing by cutting contact. Do not re-establish any contact with your family. Jack and Jill did this to themselves. They need to deal with it now. They should have known better than to believe your parents over you and actually having the nerve to call your mother and ask her side, which if she is as bad as she sounds probably spun some bullshit story trying to either make you look bad or make you look like you're overreacting or lying. You owe them nothing after they broke your trust. It's good karma to show them exactly why you cut contact and that instead of them being giant a-holes they should have trusted and supported you. Edit. Had to add another thought. You need to get off social media. Period. Reverse image searches and facial searches are everywhere. Even porn sites have them. If you want your parents off your back, get a new social security number. They can get all your info just from that and your name. ATM. They have all they need to find you. Not the asshole. Why can't Jack and Jill not block your parents themselves and tell them if they keep up the harassment they will get lawyers involved? They got themselves in this mess, they must get themselves out. Enjoy your freedom. No. They've watched too many movies where these things lead to wonderful glossy get-togethers, and thought they could fix your own life, that you had already fixed. You warned them not to mess with crazy, they did it anyways and at your expense. Let them go cry at the church. With some luck they'll learn a valuable lesson. Leave them. Your parents just gained 2 new flying monkeys in Jack and Jill. This really sucks, and I'm sorry that people you were close to chose to be so callous and totally ignore your boundaries. They aren't good people. I think the advice you received to not contact them is probably good. On the other hand, if you want to be a bit petty, send them an email or something and tell them they need to move away and not tell anyone where they are going, and change their names and all of their contact information. Tell them it worked for you, at least for a while, until you made some friends who completely disregarded your feelings and gave your parents a way back into your life. I'm a big fan of the phrase, play stupid games, win stupid prizes. You told them that you weren't ready to speak about it. Instead of respecting that, they talked to your mother and criticized you. You don't need to get involved with them again. Period. Let those assholes deal with the harassment that they asked for. They stuck their noses in where they shouldn't have. It's not your fault if they have bloody noses because of it. Not your monkeys, not your circus. Keep strong. They opened the box by contacting your parents. You told them part of what your life was like, and if they don't believe any of it then they're not friends. They had no right to contact your parents. Your family and your past have nothing to do with them. They need to deal with them like they wanted to in the first place. Attempt to change your number and hopefully your parents won't receive it, or just continue blocking Jack, Jill and the parents. Not your problem. You didn't leave them in a lurch. Jack's own curiosity got the better of him and he took it upon himself to kick the Yellow Jacket's nest. This is his reward. He and his sister can take the harassment up with the authorities if they feel sufficiently threatened, but this is not your can of worms to deal with. Nope, they do not get to make those decisions for you. They get what they deserve. Stay away from them all. It is not Jack's or Jill's place to make you part of one big family again. You said no. That is the end of it. If friends ask, tell them that you are NC with your family for reasons you do not wish to discuss and that J&J are harassing you when you refuse to go along with them. J&J have the ability to block your parents as well. They need to do it. Get off social media and do a restart. They can think of this as payment for going behind your back and demanding information that wasn't their business. play stupid games and win stupid prizes. Do not re-establish contact with Jack and Jill. They have proven what kind of people that they really are. As for your parents, it sounds like you've been doing well in keeping NC with them, so just keep doing you. I am sorry you're going through all this right now, but you are strong. This is their fault. Let them deal with it. Why did they stick their noses where it didn't belong and contact your mom? They inserted themselves into a bad situation without asking you first. Now they can figure out how to get your family to stop contacting them. They wanted to be in the middle and now they are. Let them see just how awful your parents were that you needed to cut them off in the first place. Do you know what one of the great things about being an adult is? You don't have to answer to anyone who has no right being in your business. And don't explain, justify, or defend. This is your life and you get to choose to live it as you see fit. Do not start contact again. Do not put yourself in the position to have that done to you again, please, for your own mental health and well-being. I am really impressed by your excellent boundaries. Jack and Jill did this to themselves. And there is nothing stopping them from blocking your parents on all phone media and continuing to do that as needed. At least now they know you had an excellent reason for going NC. No offense, I'm sure Jack and Jill wanted the best for you, but they're dumb as fuck. They contacted your abusive mother, then criticized you for leaving your fam. They started that problem, so just leave them to deal with it. Maybe now they'll understand why you left your family behind after they harass them a bit. It's cruel, but no need in re-involving yourself with your abusers just to help them, who probably still don't get why you left. There's a ton of consistent good advice here and you don't need another person to say it again. Instead, I will send you the very biggest hug I can. Oh, keep doing what you're doing. Don't put yourself in harm's way. Why should you? I have friends in what sounds like a similar situation to yourself. I can't imagine betraying their trust and contacting their abusers. I know people have told my friends, but their family. Nope. That's not how this works at all. You do not owe any of these people anything. Jack and Jill fucked up and now they gotta deal with their mess. They may have wanted to have a sappy Oprah moment, but they learned an important lesson, hopefully anyway. At this point, ignore them. If mutual friends bring it up, it's not their business. I wouldn't feel bad about throwing either idiot under the bus. You do what's best for you. Yeah, contacting your parents was a shitty move on their part. It's like they don't understand anything about consent. Not your job to educate J&J, leave them to their fate. I'm sorry though for having made friends and having them turn on you without truly understanding what they are even doing. Their loss. You can live your increasingly better life without them. This will be really, really hard, and it's not the end of the world if you don't feel like you have the spoons to do it. The easiest way to address this is to create a big chat room including all your mutual friends with Jack and Jill and simply tell them everything you've told us, and finishing it off with, it should be enough that when a friend tells you they don't have contact with their parents because they're abusive, that you don't simply hand contact to those parents behind your friend's back. Those two created their own lurch, left themselves in it, and now they're getting a taste of why I no longer have contact with my family. Screw that noise. Keep tabs on your parents but never contact them, and leave Jack and Jill in the dark. Time to move on. They did bring this on themselves, 100%. It's a little weird that they wanted to talk to your mother and get her side of the story, after you had already told them about most of the abuse. Did they not believe you? Some friends. God bless those wonderful people who make life-altering decisions for poor, immature, misguided you without even being asked. Normally we refer to such people as parents. Lucky you. Just as you thought you'd lost the 2 abusive parents God gave you, your guardian angel sent you 2 new ones. So of course, you'll listen to them, and do as they command. Either that, or you'll take charge of your own life, and do what's right for you. Best wishes, whatever you decide. Let them find out for themselves what terrible people your parents are. You need to lose all of them and move on. Put yourself first and forget them. They brought this on themselves for getting involved, not respecting your opinion or boundaries for your family. It seems that you have created a good environment for you to live your life within. Don't allow mosey and toxic people take that away from you. They breached your privacy and trust. They caused it, let them deal with it.